4244 Lockwood. 3-bedroom house, just on the market for $90,000. This would be an example of a deal to watch. It might take us 90 days to really get it to the price it belongs. Some basement foundation. Actually, no, I'm gonna correct that. That is clearly a clean out with some sewer work. The rule of thumb in Toledo is the front yard is where the water line comes in. The backyard is where the sewer line goes out. I don't think this does not have an official alleyway. So the sewer, I presume, just cuts through everyone's backyard, but that would be the entire city. Definitely have abandonment. These are burrs. It's just a weed we have around here. And so that just indicates it's been abandoned. This needs to be vinyl sided. You have windows, let's see here. That's a new window. That's original, and that one over there is in pieces. I'm looking at, sorry, that one there. I gotta look through the camera and not through my finger. This one needs to be replaced. That one needs to be replaced. That one needs to be replaced. I mean, if I bought it, I would immediately, tear the thing apart and put it back together. But you need to get it for the right price first. Your 3 windows in the front, they're expensive. Ones have already been done. So no real complaint. Have an interesting design with the front porch here. Front porch is like a sitting porch. You'll have some repairs to do. You might be able to repaint it, probably save the deck boards for another couple years. But if you're going to be vinyl siding, you might want to just replace that as well. So let's go in. Now, this is what the good old days looked and smelled like. This is what a traditional foreclosure from 2009 looked like. Like this is epic. Brings back all kinds of memories. We smell like cat pee. In the business, we say it smells like a discount. This is not going to sell for $90,000 unless somebody wants to overpay. Starting a bathroom. The tub needs to be replaced. We want to qualify for Section 8. You can try to epoxy it. It's just you're going to be epoxying it every year, every other year. Here's one of those original windows. This is FRP, like glue-on surround. It's just, same routine. Laminate, you can see the laminate is separated, and then the laminate there's a leak in the toilet, and the toilet has caved through. If we go like this, so this would fail Section 8 right there. You're watching this toilet rock because it is rotted. Oh, it was a much worse version, but we just did a $5,000 job for a client where we had to remove these from the room. And then mind you, that was occupied. So we had to move them all back in at the end of each workday, and it was 3 work days. Then we had to demo the floor and replace the not the joist, but the subfloor and layers of flooring. There were 6 layers of flooring on that job. So I would give this, it's a reflooring job. This is a $1,500 job, maybe $2K. Not a big deal. You're gonna wanna rip the tub out at the same time. Not the end of the world. We do have a vent fan, and the vent fan's in the shower. I mean, wow. Yeah, we have one switch. You literally pull chain your vent fan. I can't say I have any observation on that. We would be closing those off, by the way. I don't know what bath towels you're supposed to keep up there. That's some homeowner happiness. My point is, I think we would rip this out and we would get rid of that window at the same time. You're gonna do vinyl siding. It's the perfect time to just get rid of, why would you be interested in showering while staring at your neighbors, right? So then that moves us into bedroom rear. We call this one bedroom 2. Small, but no complaints. This was that wonky window. The window doesn't fit in the frame. That's the top window you're looking at. So this whole thing comes out, goes bye-bye. This one I'd rip out at the same time. And your doors are, I'm gonna say unimpressive. I'm not married to throwing them in the garbage, but they definitely need to go. I think it's really cute that somebody tried to sweep. I'm kind of looking at sweeping lines there. Somebody tried to sweep. I don't know why. Here's your windows. Windows all need to come out of this thing. And then your closet. I would do closet doors if it was my property. It just makes it nicer, right? Our goal is to try to be nicer. Here's your original subfloor, and all the carpet in this place goes. It stinks to holy hell. Oh, let's see if I see anything else. Let's head into kitchen for a minute. So kitchen, nothing impressive. You've got your tray to catch water, and there's water in the tray. Isn't that cute? I think you have a sink leak. I think that's what we call that in the business. Again, just basic, kitchen layout. This is a ghetto vent fan for like your stove. You can see it's all caked in grease. This needs to get removed. And then you need to put your vent hood in and probably just move it down the wall. And that way this can go. And then when you do your siding, you'll cover the scar over and go from there. And that's the plumbing for the back side of the bathroom. That's kind of interesting. You are set up for electric only on the stove, not gas presently. Again, you have that really weird, because you remember the toilet's failing from right in there. So you may have water that's been coming in this way too. So that's interesting. All right, I'm gonna take us down and we'll go from there. In the basement. Now, this clearly has been disturbed, and I have the shutoff valve. That's a little cranky thing that is no longer an approved valve, with another little cranky thing that looks a little newer but still is not an approved shutoff valve. And then somebody played around on this side, probably to establish water to turn something on. That's one of the new city meters. So that's been upgraded, but they wouldn't have installed it if they didn't have that second valve in. You got a valve on either side with a tailpiece. So that's interesting. Now, if you come up here, that's copper. And so somebody came in and repaired just as much as they had to get the water on. And then they ran from the building. Moving down this water line, I have electrical tape. I don't think that's a pressure rated repair device, but okay, it's also bent. And then that moves us to here. This is a hose spigot outside on that front porch. And so this froze or broke at some point, and get it out of there. And more of that crazy tape, by the way. Looking at basement, this is my guidance, okay? You have to be able to look at ugly and realize these walls are amazing. You have one horizontal, like, little crack. In a 100-year-old house, that is stupendous. Coming over to this wall, I'm just gonna stay talking about foundation for a second. You can see they used to have paneling. Paneling in basements is no bueno. I think the bank, whatever the history on this house is, they tore all that out. So they just exposed the walls and then called it done. This is where all those burrs are in the backyard where it was excavated. You can see we have an impressively deep hole. Like, you need to cover on that SOB right now. Pieces of plumbing, so we've done work. Remember, we've got that repair going out. I suspect somebody already put $3,000 into the backyard for you. This foundation is not the excavation cause. There's nothing, by the way, right here. You can see we stopped. That's paneling. This is what your basement's going to look like once you just get it, broomed, washed down, and painted. Now let's look at the water heater. Again, these are press fittings. You've got to have a fancy crimper to be able to do that. And I am telling you that we brought in a plumber. He fixed over there, he fixed over here, sent the bank a bill, and he got the hell out. But I don't know what the value of the line is exactly, but we should have a manufacturing date sitting on right here. 2022 is the upgrade date for this. And she's flashing, so it looks like electric is on. No, there's no electricity that feeds this thing. Sorry, this uses the igniter. There's no electric line that goes in here. Uses the combustion for low voltage electricity. But I wanted to show you that, and then I wanted to take a look at the furnace. The furnace it's not brand new, but it is American standard. It's a fine brand name. Tune-up was done by this company in 25. So theoretically, it will turn over if one wants it to. Main soil stack, you can see they just did a partial repair. They did the lazy repair, and then we go back into cast iron. And I wanted to show you the breaker panel. We'll see what the name brand is. Cruce. And the type of breakers, they look standard. I think they're type BR. Anyway, I'd have to play with it deeper. You don't care. All you care is this is not Georgia Pacific. It's not one of 2 or 3 name brands that send your home inspector screaming. You cannot have your bottoms open, and then it says electric heat in here. So I'm not sure what the game is on that, but you don't want that open. It is a simple repair. Basement-wise, really, it just reflects the rest of the house. Huge potential. Lovely house once we actually get it going. I don't know why we have foil on the ceiling. I'm just kind of like eyeballing that. Don't have an answer. More foil on the ceiling and a light bulb. I predict marijuana. I think we were growing marijuana down here. You have some old moisture damage, like they were able to corrode their vent. This is the cold air return, I don't know what it's returning, but it's not returning cold air. And then I wanted to walk you upstairs and show you our kitty marks there, and the smell oh kitty, and then just damage all over. So in conclusion, lovely foreclosed property. It is in an excellent neighborhood. If I look to the right, that is Eleanor up there, up the road. We won't be able to see it, but where the streets end, that's Eleanor. Your 43612 zip code, you're in a lovely area. I'm gonna say you're breaking into more homeowner than you are renter. So the value of the property is stupendous. I predict you're at the 140, and it's gonna go up a bit. You might crack 160 with new windows, new vinyl siding, but you're gonna wanna make those improvements on this property, and it really will be lovely. Last I wanted to point out, because we haven't been upstairs yet, is the stairs are missing handrail, and you come up to the third bedroom. The third bedroom has to have a door. So it's got a door at the top of the stairs opening downward, so that is awkward. You have, like I'm 6 feet, right? And so I have to stand to the left 80% of the opening there. Have yourself a normal closet, and then you have, a dignified second story. If I was the homeowner, I would make my kids live up here. But, smoke detector, got to be upgraded for Section 8. Here's your door opening outward, and you need a handrail. You're going to have just a grand time getting like a king-size bed up here. You have a 90-degree turn. You're going to come up here. You have a 90-degree turn to kind of get in there. You're going to have to bring the thing in and like shoot it that way and feed it. And then you have the chimney in the middle of your bedroom. So not optimal, however, as a rental, it is really a great product. So welcome to Lockwood, and I definitely recommend we keep an eye on this one.